Beethoven's 5 piano concertos are miniature epics in storytelling. Each broke new ground and became a cornerstone of the piano repertoire. Here's what to listen for. The Piano Concerto No. 1 was published first in 1801, but came second in composition order. Beethoven's models were Haydn and Mozart, who laid many ground rules for the interplay of soloist and orchestra. But this is Beethoven, the composer who would move listeners to tears with his rapturous improvisations, then burst into loud laughter. There's a similar brusqueness in parts of this concerto. The finale suggests a teasing country dance pushed to the edge of respectability. Beethoven introduced his second piano concerto at his 1795 debut concert in Vienna. Until then, he'd performed only in the private salons of the Austrian nobility. Having tinkered with his concerto for several years, he was never quite satisfied, but it crackles with many imaginative gestures. Beethoven's pupil, Carl Czerny, once compared the slow movement to a great opera scene, with the pianist as the impassioned diva. The third piano concerto overcame a chaotic premiere. It was preceded by a single 10-hour orchestra rehearsal and a pre-dawn copying session. Even so, the piano part was not written out in time. Beethoven played much of it by memory, while a page-turner tussled with mostly blank sheets of music. The first movement is reminiscent of Mozart's piano concerto in C minor, but Beethoven's has a greater urgency and weight. The fourth piano concerto was introduced at the same huge 1808 concert that saw the premieres of Beethoven's Fifth and Sixth Symphonies. It's the concerto's opening that is especially innovative. It begins not with the customary orchestra intro, but with the soloist playing in a kind of mystical reverie. The poetic mood continues in the second movement, which 19th century writers compared to Orpheus' charming wild beasts. Finally, Beethoven completed his Emperor Concerto in 1809, just as Napoleon's troops were attacking Vienna. At one point, he took refuge in his brother's basement, covering his ears with pillows to protect what remained of his hearing. Even so, his deafness was so advanced that he turned the premiere over to a colleague. Beethoven's publisher may have coined the name Emperor, and it fits the work's unprecedented length and complexity. Listen for militaristic brass and timpani in the opening theme, a hymn-like adagio, and a majestic finale that perfectly caps Beethoven's career as a concerto composer.